Yeah, you can start, Dr. Rohit.
Yeah.
Which paper is this?
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Rohit.
Yeah, 1 minute. ये full screen नहीं होता है.
Start, Dr. Rohit. Your timer is on.
1 minute. I'm.
We can come back to you.
Is it okay now?
Everything is okay. You have to start your presentation.
Please proceed. It is okay now.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Rohit Bang, and I'm discussing here outcomes of cataract surgery in a patient with Fuchs endothelial dystrophy. So no financial disclosures as such. We all know Fuchs endothelial corneal dystrophy. It's characterized by gutted changes on the endothelium, causing decreased endothelial pump function, resulting in corneal edema with a glare and halos, and ultimately resulting in decreased vision. When confronted with a Fuchs endothelial corneal dystrophy, and it is accompanied with a cataract, the changes, it becomes difficult to decide if the symptoms are due to cataract or endothelial decompensation, and whether to do a plain cataract surgery would help in resolving the patient's symptoms. The aim of study was to get a guideline for decision making in these patients for cataract surgery alone, or we need to go with a combined procedure in the form of phaco-IOL DMEK for visual rehabilitation. This is just a slit lamp photograph of how the gutted changes looks like. The specular images, we all know it from the healthy endothelial mosaic to the pleomorphism, then the polymegathism and gutted changes, how the endothelium decompensates. So how did this study go about? It was a study of 164 eyes of 150 patients who were prospectively analyzed over a period of 21 months. And the selection criteria were presence of a Fuchs endothelial dystrophy, which was not associated with morning blur, and a central corneal thickness less than 630 microns. The criteria were assessed at 1 week, 1 month, and 3 months interval following an uneventful phacoemulsification surgery. And the various criteria that were specifically looked for was a central corneal thickness or a CCT, best corrected visual acuity, and endothelial cell counts. It was a how did this study go about? It was a clear corneal temporal phacoemulsification, which was done by a single surgeon under topical anesthesia, and a soft shell technique was used to protect the endothelium using a dispersive and cohesive viscoelastic material. The grade of cataract surgery and phaco energy utilized were noted, but not used in statistical analysis. And topical steroids in a tapering dose along with antibiotic and hyperosmotic agents were given postoperatively for all the patients. Looking at the results, as you can see, the pre-op BCVA was to the tune of around 0.4 logmar units, and it improved to around 0.15 logmar units after the surgery. And however, the central corneal thickness or the mean central corneal thickness, it was around 572 microns pre-operatively, and post-operatively it was around 585 microns. The endothelial cell count, the mean pre-operative endothelial cell count was around 1604, and mean endothelial cell counts post-operatively, which was measured at 1 month, was around 1312 square millimeters. Out of 164 eyes undergoing cataract surgery, 34 eyes or 22% of the eyes, they required an endothelial keratoplasty due to poor BCVA after cataract surgery, and this decision was taken at the end of 3 months. As you can see in a pie chart, of those 164 eyes, 130 patients didn't require any further intervention. And the mean pachymetry who's required an endothelial keratoplasty, it was in the tune of 595 microns, and the patients who didn't require any further intervention or no endothelial keratoplasty later was in the tune of 564 microns. So this was the mean pre-operative pachymetry that we had. So 3 months after the cataract surgery, the decision to proceed with the DMEK was based on the persistence of suboptimal visual function despite cataract surgery without any other concomitant ocular pathology which could impair the patient's vision. So what we conclude is, obviously there is no objective gold standard to guide whether to proceed with a plain cataract surgery or a combined procedure in a patient of Fuchs endothelial dystrophy. The decision has to be normally taken by the surgeon based on the obvious corneal edema, significant gutted changes, or a raised central corneal thickness, and a gross quality of visual impairment. Our findings, however, suggest that the pre-op central corneal thickness, when it is less than 600 microns, it allows almost 78% of eyes of Fuchs corneal endothelial dystrophy to obtain a good visual outcome after cataract surgery alone if it is done with a minimal phaco energy utilization. Higher the preoperative central corneal thickness at presentation with a Gatte, higher likelihood of requiring a endothelial keratoplasty in a future. Thank you.
I have a question. It's a
Yes,
good
sir. Yes, ma'am.
presentation. What was the role of age in your series? Because I didn't see the mention of age, because it's an important criterion to go by, because the future endothelial loss, which not only depend upon the original condition, will also depend upon the age of the patient and of course the operative parameters.
Obviously, age is a very important factor, but here what we were focused was when there was significant gutted changes or a diagnosed case of Fuchs corneal endothelial dystrophy, and these were all a senile cataract. So I didn't mention here the age as such, but all were the senile patients were more than 60 years of age that we were dealing with.
So which irrigating
That's-
solution, there's no mention about that, and the grade of cataract also, that would make difference.
Yes, definitely. As a routine, we are using BSS for all the cataract surgeries. And the grade of a cataract surgery, it ranges from grade 2 to grade 3 as such. But as a default, we are using a BSS for all our cataract surgeries.
What's the innovation in this?
It helps us to understand that all patients, like whenever we are confronted with a Fuchs endothelial dystrophy along with a cataract surgery, there's always a dilemma that whether to combine. We get a process from a general physician, general ophthalmologist, that whether we can proceed with a plain cataract surgery or better to intervene in a form of a phaco-IOL or with a DMAC or a triple surgery. So it signifies that not only the specular counts, but if the corneal thickness is less than 600 microns at presentation, the chances of requiring endothelial keratoplasty might be less. In 80% of patients, you can just go ahead and get a cataract surgery done, and chances of requiring a DMAC are very less.
Okay, thank you.
Doctor, just a quick comment, if I may, Doctor. Doctor, two things are predict whether you need to have a DMAC or not. One is pre-op 600 micron. That cutoff has been published numerous times. Then the next thing is early morning blur. Patients who complain of early morning blur are more likely to need a DMAC procedure. But the
Yes, sir.
endothelial count per se doesn't matter. Thanks, Doctor.
Right, sir.